Before I call this meeting to order, I will note for the record that I will serve as the acting chair for today's meeting. Now I'll call to order the meeting of the directors of the New York State Urban Development Corporation, doing business as the Empire State Development, for Thursday, October 18th, 2018. As noted on the agenda posted to the internet, we welcome public comment on items on the agenda. To ensure maximum opportunity for participation, speakers representing themselves may speak for up to 2 minutes each, and those representing groups may speak for up to 4 minutes, with one speaker per group. Speakers' comments may only address the items considered at today's meeting. As always, the directors have received the written materials in advance of today's meeting. They are free to ask questions at any time during the presentations. At this time, I will ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the items on today's agenda. If so, I will ask you to please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this point, and we will then remind you to recuse yourself from any discussion or vote with regard to such items. Any conflicts, anyone? Okay. The first item on today's agenda is approval of the minutes of the September 20th, 2018 directors meeting.
No.
All right, second. Any questions, comments, additions, deletions? All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Opposed? None. Thank you. The motion carries. I will now ask Ed Hamilton to present an item relating to the appointment of officers. Ed?
Thank you. The directors are being asked to approve the appointment of 3 officers. Sure thing. Sure thing. Sorry. The directors are being asked to approve the appointment of 3 officers. The first of which is Richard Newman to the Executive Vice President and Chief of Staff. You may recall at last month's meeting, Howard made the announcement that he was doing the appointment for Rich, so I won't go into the many accolades that he deserves. But he is the first of the appointments, and then also you're also being asked to approve the appointment of Deborah Royce to Corporate Secretary. As many of you know, Deborah's been a longtime ESD employee. She's currently the Assistant Corporation Secretary. She'll be responsible for the conduct of the hearings, record keeping for both ESD board meetings and our subsidiaries. And finally, London Cruz. Yes. Yes. And finally, London Cruz being requested as the Assistant Corporate Secretary. Mr. Cruz has joined the corporation in 2017, but he's been a great addition to the legal team. And he's going to continue to assist the legal department in litigations, hearings, real estates, and he'll be working with Debbie on the corporate matters.
Any questions or comments from the directors? Okay. Well, we haven't voted on it yet. Now, hold on.
That's right.
Okay, any comments from the public? Okay, is there a motion? Second?
I'll move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Close vote. Okay, thank you. That carries.
There you go.
Okay, before we proceed to the presentation of the project items, I will ask Glendon McCleary to present a summary of those projects. Glenn?
Thank you, and good morning. The directors will be requested to consider 8 projects totaling $16,276,466 in grants. The projects include 1 regional council award and 7 discretionary awards. The projects will take place in the Western New York, North Country, Central New York, Finger Lakes, Southern Tier, Mohawk Valley, and New York City regions, leverage over $19 million of additional investment, retain 283 jobs, and create 120 jobs in the state. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Glendon. We'll now move to the project section of the agenda, and Jim Fail from our Central New York region will start us off with a Super Dirt Week 2018 at Oswego Speedway Capital grant item. Jim.
Good morning. The directors are being asked to approve a project today from Central New York. This is a $541,000 grant to World Racing Group, who is the promoter of an event called Super Dirt Week, which was held earlier this month at the Oswego Speedway. This event has been in Central New York since 1972. Back in 2015, and was traditionally held at the fairgrounds at the New York State Fair. When renovations started there, Back in 2015, they entered into an agreement with New York where we would find them a replacement location and provide cover the cost of converting an asphalt track into a dirt track. In exchange, they agreed to continue to hold the event for another 10 years in New York. This is the third year that we've done that. These costs help convert the asphalt track to a dirt track, as well as do some upgrades to the facility, including some spectator camping and parking area enhancements, improvements to the grandstand, and facility infrastructure to provide for the capacity required to hold this event for a whole week. Traditionally, this event will bring 7,000 to 10,000 people up to the area for a week-long event, and has been very successful. I'll be glad to take any questions.
Any questions or comments from the directors?
So there's still 7 more years of doing this event? Is that, if I understand?
Correct.
Are we gonna have to put this kind of money in every year?
Yes, that's the arrangement that we made. It'll be as the facility gets, as these improvements are done. So like once the parking area is done, we don't have to cover those costs, but we will certainly always have the track conversion cost, which is around $120,000 to $150,000.
So is that yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Some of
Yes.
them.
We'll
Yes.
still be fixing it up for this event every year.
I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, the infrastructure.
Is that what he's saying? I couldn't quite hear it.
Yeah, the infrastructure improvements won't be made every year, but the conversion of the track from the asphalt track to the dirt track each year would, those costs. So it'll be reduced, but it will come back each year.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments from the directors? Any comments from the public? Is there a motion?
Move.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you. The motion carries. John Vanderloo is up next, and he will present an item from our North Country region relating to the Stature Electric Improvements Capital Project for the director's consideration. John?
Good morning. Today we are presenting one project in the North Country awarded through Round 5 of the Regional Council. We seek approval of a $275,000 grant to Stature Electric for a $3,057,000 project to purchase and install new machinery and equipment at the small-scale electric motor manufacturing operation in Watertown. This is a Round 5 Economic Development Council project needed by the company to upgrade production capabilities, to meet technical requirements for new business opportunities, and most importantly, to retain 55 manufacturing jobs in the greater Watertown area. The project is in alignment with the region's strategy to invest in retention and expansion projects by existing manufacturers to ensure their long-term viability in the area. The project is complete. Thank you very much. That is our presentation for today.
Thank you, John. Any questions or comments from the directors? Any comments from the public? Is there a motion?
Move.
Is there a second? Favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Yeah, Kevin?
John Vanderloo, who just
Yes.
presented the item, I believe is retiring this month.
That's correct.
If I got the dates correctly, John started his public service 35 years ago yesterday. And when I met John 12 years ago, he was working in the MWB department. And I think a few years ago moved up to Watertown to do a lot of the project management for us. So I just want to congratulate John on 35 years of service and wish him all the
Thank
best.
you very much, Kevin. That's very kind of you.
Thank you,
And
John. I think we ought to give John a round of applause. Thanks so much, John.
John, in place of working, you can have plenty of free time to enjoy the nice weather up there.
oh, yes, indeed. Thanks again, and have a good day, all. And keep
Thank you.
up the good work.
father-in-law's from Loudville.
Wow.
That's something.
In a different climate, about 10 miles south.
Thanks, John.
Great area.
So
Thank you.
next up is Mike Reese, who will now present an item from our Mohawk Valley region. Mike?
Good morning, directors. This morning I'm asking you to approve a $1,900,000 Regional Council capital grant to ONX3 LLC to be used for a portion of the cost of construction and renovation, infrastructure, and demolition at the Sherrill Industrial Park. The incentive proposal for this project was accepted by the applicant in April of 2017. Onyx 3 is a privately owned real estate development company formed in 2012 and is the sole owner and manager of the Sherrill Industrial Park, which is the prior site of the Oneida Limited Company, a manufacturer of flatware. In 2016, the company began negotiations with Briggs & Stratton, a manufacturer of power equipment, most notably Ferris mowers, which has outgrown its existing facility in the adjacent town of Munnsville. Briggs & Stratton considered moving its operation and their 525 manufacturing jobs to an underutilized building near the company's headquarters in Wisconsin. To accommodate Briggs & Stratton at the Sherrill Industrial Park, Onyx 3 renovated a 570,000 square foot facility in the park, including new roofing, loading docks, fire suppression system, and exterior siding, as well as demolishing a 30,000 square foot building and a 40,000 square foot wastewater treatment plant to accommodate traffic egress and parking requirements. In addition to the lease of 570,000 square feet to Briggs & Stratton, the company also leases 125,000 square feet to Sherrill Manufacturing, 35,000 square feet to Hoteling Imports, 15,000 square feet to Upstate Stone, 10,000 square feet to Munford Electric, and 120,000 square feet of mixed-use space to Silver City Campus LLC. The total project cost was $11,562,972. The ESD capital grant is $1,900,000, and the project was completed in 2018. The project is consistent with the Mohawk Valley Regional Economic Development Council strategy to strengthen and expand our tradable sectors by creating and retaining jobs for skilled workers and expand our global manufacturing footprint. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments from the directors?
Terrific leverage off of the initial grant that we gave.
I apologize, I couldn't hear the question.
It's terrific leverage off of the initial grant that we gave long ago.
I'm still not understanding the question. Tremendous
Don't worry,
leverage.
Carry on.
It was a compliment.
Carry on. It was a plus.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Any comments from the public? No. Is there a motion?
Move.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Next, we have a project from our New York City region, which will be presented by Steve Gold. Steve?
Thank you and good morning. We are seeking the board's approval of an $875,000 capital grant to HNTB Corporation in return for achieving job creation and capital investment goals. HNTB is an employee-owned infrastructure engineering firm headquartered in Kansas City, Missouri, serving the public and private sectors. With more than a century of service, the firm's engineers are involved in the entire life cycle of infrastructure projects, addressing technical, financial, and operational challenges. HNTB currently employs more than 400 project professionals in its network of nationwide regional offices, in addition to hundreds of administrative and headquarters staff. These professionals deliver a full range of infrastructure-related services, including planning design, program management, and construction management. In late 2014, HNTB anticipated significant growth in transportation infrastructure projects throughout the Northeast. In addition to projects in New York, several large-scale projects in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and along Amtrak's Northeast Corridor were expected to materialize. In order to take on such projects, HNTB projected adding 100 civil engineers and 20 technical staff and locating them in one of its Northeast offices. Specifically, the firm was determining whether to expand its Philadelphia, Newark, New Jersey, or New York City offices. At the time, the New York City office employed 205 professionals in addition to 23 staff working elsewhere in the state. After receiving our $875,000 capital grant offer, HNTB decided to expand its New York City operation by relocating staff from its 45,000 square foot office adjacent to Penn Station to a 75,000 square foot office at the Empire State Building. In connection with this expansion, the firm invested over $5 million to renovate and equip the new office space. To date, HNTB has added 84 of the projected 120 net new jobs to its New York City office. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Any questions or comments from the directors? Any comments from the public? No? Is there a motion?
Move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? The motion carries. Thank you. I will now ask Christopher Ortiz to present the new New York Broadband Program Phase 3 awards for our consideration. Chris?
Good morning. The Broadband Program Office is seeking the Director's approval to fund 3 projects with 2 companies, Frontier Communications and Windstream, New York, representing a total state funding commitment of approximately $12.4 million through the New York Broadband Program's Round 3. So in total, Round 3 awarded 47 projects to be carried out by 17 companies. Round 3 represents a total public-private investment of approximately $384.5 million. The BPO presented the other Round 3 projects at prior directors' meetings. The 3 projects before the directors today will leverage $3.1 million in private sector matching funds, resulting in $15.5 million of combined state and private broadband investment. The 3 projects will address completely unserved areas within 4 REDC regions: the North Country, the Southern Tier, the Finger Lakes, and Western New York, consistent with the program's legislative priority for unserved areas. The projects will offer broadband service to approximately 3,486 total locations, including 3,275 residential housing units and 211 other locations. The materials have been presented to the directors, and I'm happy to answer any questions about the projects.
Is broadband cell phone as well? Or is it just hardwire connection?
So these projects are broadband to the home, in general, fiber to the home, in some cases.
Home, schools, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Fire companies and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So our program's not funding cellular service.
It's not, it's terrestrial, it's not over the air.
Yeah, so there's I would draw a little distinction. So the 3 projects before the board, so we do fund fixed wireless projects. These projects are all terrestrial. We do fund some fixed wireless projects, but we are not funding sort of mobile cellular.
Fine, okay,
coverage.
all right, good.
Great. Any other questions? Comments?
Just out of curiosity, is there cell service in these places?
I'd say, in terms of the projects before the board today, I'd say that I can't comment on cellular coverage. I know that it really varies depending on what part of the state you go to.
Right.
And, I can say that with the funding that these broadband providers are getting, they're building their networks further, and we hope that that infrastructure will support increased cellular availability as they're working with local cellular providers.
Good.
Very good. Anybody else? No? Any comments from the public? Is there a motion?
Move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we have
Nice to see
Simone.
you, Chris.
We have Simone Bethune will present the Restore New York Communities item for your consideration. Simone?
Thank you. Good morning. Today we're asking the directors to approve 1 Restore New York project from Round 4.
Simone, move your mic next to, you're on radio here. There you go.
Today we are asking the directors to approve 1 Restore New York project from Round 4 to be supported by a grant of $266,400 to the town of Marion in the Finger Lakes region. This grant will be used for construction and renovations, and the project will restore 5 building facades on Main Street to highlight the historical character of the town's business district. These buildings include 13,512 square feet of currently vacant commercial space, and a variety of tenants will occupy the finished buildings, including restaurants, a photography studio, and a custom sign company. The project will be complete in September 2019 at a cost of $296,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the directors? Any comments from the public? Is there a motion?
Move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Simone will now present the non-discretionary consent calendar item for the director's consideration. Simone, please.
Thank you. We have 5 items for consideration on the non-discretionary calendar. The first 4 grants, totaling $2.2 million, are being requested for approval to the Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation for its programs and operations in the years 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018. The funding is being made available through the Local Assistance Program sponsored by the New York State Assembly, and it will assist the Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation in financing its website, administrative staffing, and some of its annual events, which showcase the Bronx, such as Orchard Beach Summer Series Concert, the Bronx Night Market, and trolley tours. And all 4 of these grants support ongoing programs, and they will be dispersed quarterly upon submission of eligible proof of expenditures as the projects progress until completion. The 5th award the directors are being asked to approve is a $5 million grant to Trudeau Institute for its medical-oriented business model known as Trudeau 3.0. Trudeau Institute conducts biomedical research to develop new treatments and treatment prevention strategies against disease. This business plan initiative is part of a 5-year strategy for the formation and execution of multiple partnerships in infectious disease translation, research, and development with major parties, which include medical research universities, inventors and entrepreneurs, biopharma companies, and the federal government. The grant will be used for the cost of operations and staffing at Trudeau Institute's biomedical research laboratories to develop a network of alliances with major medical research universities. And this project is expected to be complete in December 2019. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. Any questions or comments from the directors? Any comments from the public? Thank you. Is there a motion?
Move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Next, we'll have Clayton Besh, who will present a New York Ventures investment item for our consideration. Clayton?
Thank you. I would like to ask the board for authorization for the New York State Innovation Venture Capital Fund to co-invest up to $150,000 in Gnomes Technologies convertible note round of $2 million as a follow-on to the fund's earlier investment in July of 2016. Gnomes is a Rochester startup based in the Eastman Business Park that has commercialized the Cornell University's IP to develop an electrolyte that produces lithium-ion batteries that are both high voltage and safer and, more importantly, non-flammable than the current battery designs. These attributes have been recognized by the transportation industry as electric vehicle market grows. Daimler, BMW, Nissan, Ford, and GM have all been working with the company to develop safer lithium-ion batteries. They've begun to sell product now to a European automaker launching a new fleet of electric taxis. They also negotiated a joint development agreement with leading consumer electronic battery manufacturers. This investment round, which has been approved by the External Investment Review Committee, is a bridge to the Series C round planned in 2019 to be led by a strategic investor with industry experience. We are enthusiastic that Phoenix Ventures, the lead investor, is continuing to participate as they are bringing extensive market and technology experience to Gnomes and are helping them raise the next round. Are there any questions?
Questions or comments from the directors?
Well, this is the way it's got to go. We've got to find something other than just lithium ion to get for cost and.
In the meantime, these don't explode.
That's a good development.
What's that? What is it?
They don't explode, he said.
Yeah, that's right. That's one of the other benefits is that you're not sitting
That's
on
their
a...
marketing tagline.
It is mine.
Who came up with that? All right. Any other comments or questions from the board?
Again,
Yeah.
because I don't understand. If this turns out to be extraordinarily successful, what do we get out of it?
Well, because we have equity in the company, we get the upside of whatever the liquidity event is. If it's a merger and acquisition, or potentially, though not likely,
That's what I wanted to hear. We have equity in the
IPO.
company.
The convertible equity. It's a convertible note.
Well, the convertible note. This would be a convertible note. It would convert to the next round at a 20% discount. The earlier investment we made is in preferred shares.
If it works, it pays for
We're
itself.
part owners.
Plus, yeah.
Correct. We are equity owners in this company, much like we've had liquidity events in other portfolio companies as well, and have benefited from that.
Thank you.
5%
It's
interest.
an evergreen fund, and we would then hopefully go out and do more good works.
And the 5% interest is better than.
Well, that's yes.
That helps.
It does help. It'll convert fairly quickly, so it's really not that important.
Great.
It's the industry standard.
Any comments from the public? Is there a motion?
Move.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Samantha Beldock will next present the 3 market order program items. So we're going to hold our vote until all 3 items have been presented. Samantha?
Thank you. The directors are being requested to approve 3 dairy contracts for the marketing and promotion of the New York State dairy industry. These contracts will be funded through the Dairy Promotion Order. The first contract you have on your list is the American Dairy Association and Dairy Council contract, which totals $11,385,776 for 12 months of marketing and promotion services. ADADC will use 4 marketing and promotion platforms, including youth program teams, retail marketing, integrated marketing communications, and industry relations. The second contract you have in front of you is the contract for Milk for Health on the Niagara Frontier. This contract totals $472,500 for 12 months of marketing and promotion services. They will use 7 marketing and promotion platforms, including website and social media, television, radio, billboards, Erie County Fair, Buffalo Bills games, and school assemblies. And the third contract is the New England Dairy Promotion Board contract totaling $1,914,255, again for 12 months of marketing and promotion services. This contract has 3 marketing and promotion platforms, including youth wellness, sustainable nutrition affairs, and integrated communications.
Thank you, Samantha. Any questions or comments from the directors?
The marketing promotions are within the state of New York?
Yeah, so every state has the option to opt into the marketing order program. And the way it works for dairy is a little bit different than others that I presented previously, like cabbage and onion. Dairy is a national program, so farmers are required to pay a portion of what they produce to that national program. When we opt in as New York State, we can reclaim a portion of what they pay and use it towards marketing and promotion and research.
What they promote, the good thing that they do is they promote consumption of milk.
Yes.
Which means that you're getting milk, which is at a higher price from the dairy farms than when you go to yogurt. When dairy farms sell to the yogurt manufacturers, they get a lower price because it's categorized as an ingredient, not as a prime product. So the dairy farms that sell to the yogurt guys, that's good. But when they sell to the bottlers, the co-ops and then the bottlers, that's at a higher price, so that's better. You know, the Crowleys and all the different milk places that you see all over the state. So it's terrific that they're doing this. So I'm glad we're doing it. Were we not doing this? Is this the first time we've done this?
No, actually, this is the third year.
Third year?
That
thought so.
ESD has been the fiscal and legal component of
I
this
thought we
process.
looked at this before.
Yeah,
I
this
think I
is.
said the same thing before.
Yep.
We'll check the minutes from the.
No, this is great.
Any other comments from the directors? Comments from the public? Is there a motion?
Move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you, the motion carries. Now we'll have Antov Padagian, who will present the last item on today's agenda, an administrative item which relates to the procurement of legal services in connection with the disposition of the former Bayview Correctional Facility. Antov.
Thank you. The directors are requested to authorize the amendment of the existing contract with Showman Updike for the provision of real estate legal services in connection with the disposition of the former Bayview Correctional Facility in Manhattan. The amendment would include an extension of the contract term to August of 2020 and an increase in the overall dollar amount of the contract to $500,000. All funds for this contract will be provided by the developer. Thank you.
Very good. Any questions or comments from the directors?
Are we selling this property for the corrections department, or who's the owner of this property?
We have owned the property actually since the mid-1990s.
Lucky us.
Yeah. However, proceeds will most likely go to the defeasance of bonds currently overhanging the property.
Related to the property?
Yes.
Okay. So we won't net any windfall here?
Doesn't seem that way.
Okay. But we are getting out from underneath it?
Correct.
Right, good. Good.
Very good. Any other questions? Comments from the directors? Any comments from the public? Is there a motion?
Move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. I think we're all finished with the business of today's meeting, so I'll have a motion to adjourn.
Move.
Second? Adjourn. Thanks very much.
Wow.